Ever feel like, the way we talk about leadership,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of stuck. Always from the top down, CEOs, bigwigs.
Right.
But what about a fresh perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if we looked at it differently?
Yeah, totally. It's like we forget about the heart of the company, the people.
Exactly. And that's where we're diving in today. Unlocking the Corporate Code with Adriana Rosales. We've got excerpts from her book, and let me tell you, this woman's got stories. Telecommunications, marketing, even worked at a Puerto Rican water park.
Don't let the water park fool ya. Her career path is wild, and it gives her this amazing, bottom-up view of what makes a company really tick.
Okay, so no sugarcoating here. Going deep. What's the first code we're cracking today?
First up, the high cost of ignoring your, and this is how Adriana puts it, body of people.
Yeah.
Companies forget sometimes their most valuable asset. It's their employees.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the numbers, right?
Yeah.
But forgetting the human side, it's gotta hurt.
Oh, it hurts. And not just in a feel-bad way, but financially, too. Get this. $550 billion annually. That's what U.S. companies lose, according to Gallup, because of disengaged employees. Have you ever, think about it, have you ever felt undervalued at work?
Totally. Early in my career, I poured everything into this project, all-nighters, the whole bit. And when it launched, crickets. Not even a thank you. Super demotivating, Made it hard to go the extra mile after that.
And that's exactly it. When people feel unseen, unheard, that financial impact starts to make a lot of sense.
Okay, so how do we fix that?
Yeah.
What's the antidote to this whole ignoring your body of people thing?
Adriana calls it outrageous trust, and she's got this great story. So early in her career, she lands this job at a prestigious marketing firm, right? But here's the kicker. She didn't have the traditional qualifications.
Hold on, she got hired without the fancy degree or years of experience. How'd that happen?
Outrageous trust. The VP, Jody, saw something beyond the resume. Hunger and drive, she called it. And these weren't just buzzwords. Adriana had hustled to get experience, even if it wasn't the typical path.
So it's about looking beyond the bullet points, seeing the potential, even if it's a little rough around the edges.
Exactly. Jody saw Adriana's initiative, that willingness to learn, the passion, way more valuable than a checkbox on a resume.
That's a good reminder for everyone listening, whether you're hiring or hoping to be hired. Show your genuine interest. That hustle, that's what catches a leader's eye.
Absolutely. It's about the person, not just the qualifications, their drive, why they do what they do.
Okay, so body of people, outrageous trust. What other leadership gems are in this corporate code?
This is where it gets really interesting. Adriana talks about compassionate leadership. She tells this story, right? She's working for the mayor in Puerto Rico, tasked with opening a brand new water park. Big project, tight deadline.
Wait, hold up. A water park. From marketing to municipalities. Adriana's got stories.
So, okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
What happened? So she's working with this young, inexperienced park director. Their styles clash. Adriana, she's all about efficiency, hitting those deadlines. The director, more laid back, into the theory,
Oof, recipe for disaster. How'd they even open the water park?
So Adriana, frustrated, goes straight to the mayor, expecting him to, lay down the law. But instead of yelling, the mayor shares a story. He compares throwing a baby bird off a cliff to giving employees space to learn.
Whoa, intense. I mean, I get it, but still, that's hardcore leadership advice.
Right, but he was making a point.
Hmm.
Give people space to learn, to mess up, to grow. He saw the potential, even if they weren't hitting Adriana's benchmarks.
So not being soft, but fostering a culture where mistakes, they're learning moments, not reasons to freak out.
Exactly, and guess what? The park opened, thrived even. Sometimes the best thing, give guidance and trust your team.
It's like, that saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day.
Right.
Teach a man to fish, or I guess in this case, give a team a water slide, hope they don't, drown trying to build it.
Yeah. Exactly. Sometimes you got to let them figure it out, even if it gets messy.
So outrageous trust, compassionate leadership, it's really resonating. It's so easy to get lost in the deadlines, the numbers, and forget they're actual humans, doing the work.
And that brings us to another big one from corporate code, leading with heart. Especially now, in this data-driven world. Adriana, she gets it, the value of analytics, metrics, all that. But she's like, don't rely on them exclusively.
So not ditching the spreadsheets, but finding that balance, head and heart.
Exactly. She says genuine care for your people, plus clear expectations. Way better results than just ruling by fear,
Makes sense. When you feel trusted, supported, you're going to be more invested.
Totally. And Adriana, she's got this other story, but this one's about mergers and acquisitions. telecom industry, brutal world.
Ooh, mergers and acquisitions. Gives me chills just hearing it. I've heard stories. What was Adriana's experience?
So she was at this company, NX1, right? It gets acquired by this huge corporation, SP2. And remember, Adriana, she loves a challenge.
Yeah.
But even for her, this was rough.
What made it so bad? The workload, the
The
change?
people, seeing her colleagues, losing their jobs, homes, their sense of security, And what got her, what really stuck with her, was the leadership. No compassion, no communication.
Like in the rush to merge, the human cost gets forgotten.
Exactly. And this was it for Adriana. She loved the work, but the culture, the leadership, it just wasn't her.
So what'd she do? Sticking it out, try to change things?
She quit, walked away. Successful career, the team she'd built, the money, gone. Because she couldn't, in good conscience, stay.
Wow, that's a statement. To choose your values over a paycheck, especially in that world, takes guts.
It does. But for Adriana, it was bigger than a job. It was about staying true to herself. And you know what? Leaving that, it led to something even better.
Okay, I love a happy ending.
Yeah.
What happened?
She got recruited, immediately by a competitor. They'd heard about her reputation, why she left NX1, the integrity, the values. They were impressed.
It's amazing how doing the right thing, even when it's hard, opens doors. know?
Oh, right. That's when it solidified for her. True success isn't just climbing the ladder. It's finding companies, leaders that share your values.
Finding your tribe, right? People
Yeah.
who lift you up professionally and personally.
Yes. And speaking of inspiring leaders, Adriana tells this other story about a former boss, Zeth.
Ooh, I love a good boss story. Tell me about Zeth. What made him so great?
So he was VP of sales, right, this telecom company. Adriana was a regional manager, and she describes him as this, calming presence, optimistic, supportive.
Sounds like a breath of fresh air. Sales can be so intense.
Right. She says he'd always make time, ask about her family, how she was doing, really cared about her, her career, her life.
Like he understood. Behind the sales targets, the deadlines, there's a human.
Yes. And more than that, he trusted her to lead her team even when she was still new. Gave her autonomy, let her make decisions, mistakes.
But that kind of trust, that's huge for an employee. Especially early on, it says, I believe in you.
Exactly. It builds ownership, accountability. Adriana, she felt so valued by him, and because of that, she was driven to succeed. For him, for the company.
There's nothing like having a leader who believes in you,
For sure. And it's not that Zeth was easy. He had high expectations, but he was clear about them, gave her the support to get there.
Setting the bar high, but giving you the tools to reach it. Not just being nice, but empowering people. What else did she learn from him?
He taught her, always have a plan B, think ahead, be adaptable. And this was huge because later on, her company went under. 2008 crash.
Wow, he was preparing her for the long game.
Exactly, investing in her, even beyond that role. He knew it was good for everyone. Now, not every leader is like Zeth, unfortunately.
I know, we've all had some. Less than stellar bosses.
And Adriana had one during another merger. SP2 again.
Oh no, not another merger gone wrong.
This one was bad. Her boss, the district manager. Total opposite of Zeth.
Okay, so if Zeth was the gold standard,
Yeah.
what made this boss so different?
Oh, man. If Zeth was the sun, this guy, black hole, Adriana's words, power-hungry, disrespectful, more worried about himself than his team.
Sounds toxic. What kind of stuff was he doing?
Think playing favorites, promotions, based on who you knew, not what you did. Just this cloud of fear, And remember, it's a merger. Everyone's already on edge.
Yikes, adding fuel to the fire. It's crazy how one person, especially in charge, can affect the whole team, right?
Tell me about it. Adriana, she tried to shield her team at first, create a little bubble of normal. But as the merger went on, impossible to ignore.
It's like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? If the leader's all fear and negativity, it's going to spread.
Exactly. And it got to Adriana. She realized, I can't do this. Couldn't be part of a company that treated people that way. Her values, her integrity just didn't line up.
That crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stay quiet, get paid, or take a stand and risk it all.
She took the stand, walked away. No plan, no guarantees. Just knew she and her team deserved better.
It's so powerful. We have a choice in
Yeah.
any work culture. Sometimes walking away, that's the bravest thing.
And for her, it led to something amazing. Remember, we were saying, find companies that match your values.
Yes, finding your tribe right.
Yeah.
Work, life, all of it.
So she leaves that mess, and she's in demand. Reputation, her courage, people notice.
I bet companies thinking, we want that leader, the one who stands up for what's right.
Exactly. And this is huge. It gets to the core of how Adriana sees leadership. She calls it the heart-centered approach.
Okay, outrageous trust, compassionate leadership, now heart-centered. Tell me more. What's that mean?
Leading with, like, your whole self, head and heart. She believes you need intelligence, yeah, but also emotional intelligence. And then heart intelligence.
Okay, IQ, EQ. Heart intelligence is new. What's that look like day to day?
It's caring about the people you work with, for real. Their motivations, what they want, what they're struggling with. Leading from empathy.
Not just the tasks, the numbers. Seeing the human.
Yes. And she says, this isn't like fluffy stuff. Companies with engaged employees, the ones who feel valued, higher productivity, more profit, happier customers.
It's like that old, it's not personal, it's business. Totally flipped, right?
Totally. Adriana shows us it is personal because business is people. And when you lead with your heart, everyone wins.
So how do we, train that heart intelligence muscle? Where do we start?
Asking the right questions, not just surface stuff, but things that matter.
Like what? Give me an example, a heart-centered question.
Instead of, how was your weekend? Or, did you hit your target? Try, what are you struggling with? How can I help? Or, how do you see me as a leader?
Ooh, those are good. Gets real fast.
Right. Creates a space where people can actually share ideas, worries, what they want to achieve. That's where the magic happens, the innovation, the real teamwork.
It's not about having all the answers as the leader, but asking the right questions and actually listening.
Exactly. And she goes even further. Practical tips for bringing this heart-centered stuff into all of life, not just work.
Okay, hit me with them.
Self-awareness. Huge. Knowing yourself, how you affect others, what you're good at, what you suck at. Then self-regulation. Managing your emotions, especially when things are crazy.
Because we all have those days, right? Where we're not our best selves.
Yeah.
Got to have those tools to not, explode on the team.
For real. Adriana even says simple things. Deep breaths, focusing on the good stuff. It can shift your whole mindset. And finally, service. Thinking bigger than yourself. Contributing.
This reminds me, she said it early on, leadership isn't about having more. It's becoming more. It's a journey.
It is. And it doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. Could be mentoring someone, volunteering, being a good friend.
Those little things add up. Make the world a better place.
Right. So thinking about corporate code, ask yourself, what's one thing today that you can do to be a better, more compassionate leader, no matter your job title, where you are?
Love that. Maybe it's trusting your team more, showing empathy, asking those deeper questions. We can all lead with more heart.
Absolutely. And remember, it's a journey. Keep learning, keep growing, keep leading with your heart.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.